What's good, Liberators? Fingers here, and this is Dx2 Demon Review, and today we are talking about the lowest of the low, the most contemptuous of God's creations. And no, I'm not talking about demons or even devils. We're talking about bureaucrats. The tyrant, Lucifuge. Lucifuge Ruficale, whose name means he who flees the light, is the prime minister of hell, watching over the government. He is Demon Lord Lucifer's counterpart. On his head are 3 twisting horns, and he has a goat's body with a long tail. Lucifer ordered him to manage the world's fortune, and he has Baal, Agares, and Marbas at his command. He is also an officer of contracts, granting his conjurer's wishes in exchange for their soul. So the next time you want to sell your soul down at the crossroads for blues, fame, and fortune, he's your guy. Let's get into it. But before I do, a shout out to Consciousness Hidden, who reminded me that Lucifuge actually existed, because you would be forgiven for forgetting about this guy, as his particular set of skills hasn't really been worth talking about until recent revelations. And we will get into that in a moment. As for the stats, Lucifuge's got that halfway decent magic stat, 206. Bump that up to 226. Max it out at 246. Not too shabby. He's Vitality, 151 off rip. You can do something with that. And his agility ain't too shabby, 159 for a caster. Hey, that's something. But I see this guy really in more of his support role because of his particular set of skills. And he knows force, don't care. Weak to light, something to watch out for. Drains darkness, alright, that's there. Cool. Skills. Transferable. Dark Amp. Plus 25% to dark damage. Can't go wrong with that kind of damage spike. And the big money. And the reason we are talking about this long-forgotten legend, Hell's Ministry. While the demon with this skill is alive, all party members of the Tyrant race will receive the following effect. Minus 10% to all damage received, and reduces the cost of almighty skills by 1 MP. Now, when this guy first came out, he was basically meant to be partnered with Lucifer, who has Morningstar, an almighty attack that at the time, I believe, still cost 8 MP. They updated Lucifer and reduced the cost of Morningstar to 7 MP. So if you run him with this guy, you can bring that down to 6 MP, meaning you can turn 1 in PvP. If you can run fast, you can pop off Morningstar turn 1, which is something. It is a sight to behold, because that is, with the damage spikes that you can put on Lucifer, you can hit, and you can hit hard. And being able to do that turn 1 in PvP is definitely something to watch out for. And this gets even better as he has a panel that reduces this MP cost to -2. So Morningstar, turn 1, 5 MP, assuming you can outrun your opponents. Now, this has been around for a while, so why am I talking about this now? Well, in recent days, as you all may have known, another tyrant demon with a pretty good almighty skill has just been released. Now, as you can see here, these are all the 5-star tyrants that I have at the moment, and basically Lucifer's the only one with almighty attacks. So again, Lucifuge, Lucifer, a match made in heaven. But oh my, what's this? Yes, that's right, Hyper Beelzebub explodes onto the scene with his 7 MP Death Flyers that now costs only 5. And also combine that, if you're running him on a speedier team, you get the drop on him, well, Hyper Beelzebub drops the enemy's defense and boosts your attack. Off rip. So now you are primed at the pump to pop off with both Death Flyers and Morningstar turn 1, of course assuming you can get that speed, which is going to be your main handicap if you're envisioning this as I am, because all 3 of these demons have middling agility stats, and you can pump them up to, if you use Sin Infusion, you can get them up to over or close to 200, so that's decent. Slap Cardi K in there and just go full speed brands with him and just go full almighty barrage. It's something fun and something I'm hoping to try out very, very soon. And back to the Lucifuge, so we can actually continue to talk about him. His other unique skill, Light Devourer. Dark magic damage, a power of 150 with Dark Pierce. Okay. Instrumental. And heals him 50% of damage dealt. Yeah, it's okay. It's a halfway decent dark attack, single target dark attack. Only thing I've been using Lucifuge for is Dark Demopocalypse, and I don't even know if he's still on my team, even my backup team at this point. I think he's still there. And yeah, it's okay. Hardly the most damaging dark attack out there, but it heals him 50%. So in PvP, hey, you got to keep him alive to keep that MP reduction in play, because once he drops, that goes away. So something to consider there. Only costs 6 MP, which can be dropped to 5. So if you're envisioning him on a faster team, as I am because I have a one-track mind, in Dx2, as in life, my general philosophy is punch first, punch hard, ask questions next week. And if you are thinking the same way I am, having that -1 MP cost means you can give him life brands and still pop this off turn 1. I more see him as someone who's passing his turn in order to let Hyper Beelzebub and Lucifer pop off more on a half press turn. That way you're stretching out those press turns as much as possible. But hey, someone's got a dark weakness in the opposing team. Hey, tap them. Why the heck not? It's there. And if you pump this thing up and go spell brands on them, go full attack, demons, much like Discord servers with absolute gobnobbers for owners, disappear. His archetypal skill, you can only acquire Lucifuge through multifusion after defeating him somewheres in Origate 2. So his common archetype is all you got, and that gives you Necro Dogma, which is very cool considering if you pump him up, this Necro Dogma costs 9 MP naturally, 8 MP because it's an archetype skill, 7 MP because of Hell's Ministry, 6 MP because of his first panel. So, not bad, very cool. Inflicts almighty magic damage on all enemies and increases own party's defense by 20%. When you consider Hell's Ministry, adds 10% protection to tyrants. Hey, you got something there. And frosting on the cake, you can boost this thing's damage up and reduce the MP cost even further if you take it all the way, meaning you can blast off 5 MP on this guy, turn 1 in PvP. Definitely cool, especially when I'm just envisioning this speedster almighty barrage. And I don't know how effective it would be on a random team because your speed is going to be a problem. It's going to hold you up a lot in there because a lot of teams are going to be outspeeding you if you random that way. But for a revenge team, this could be a lot of fun. And as far as transferables, I have them with Dark Boost and Back Attack, just damage boosts for Demopocalypse because that's all I've used him for. But if you're running him in PvP, if you're trying to get him on a Speedster team, Speedster, an obvious one. Enduring Soul, your classics. Dark Survivor would be a fantastic one. Almighty Survivor would be a fantastic one. I keep forgetting about Almighty Survivor because I do not have that skill on anything. Haven't found it yet out there in the wild. But yeah, if you are envisioning the Almighty Barrage as I am, Almighty Survivor, plus 15% damage to Almighty, plus an Endure, so if you drop to 0, you pop back up with 1. Cool stuff. And if you're running them on a slower team, a more survivable team, yeah, you want to consider more your Endures, your Enduring Soul. Maybe auto Rakakaja, because you're going to be going that first wave. But if you're running him with Hyper Beelzebub, he'll have that covered. So you got some flex here. There's a lot of fun things you can do. There's potential here, which is why we're talking about Lucifuge today. As for brands, well, if you're running him in Dumb Apocalypse, full spell. We all know that. Why am I telling you that? PvP, that's, depends. If you want to keep him, just have him active in his passive capacity, because he's got a lot of good passives. His panels are mostly passives. You can just give him life brands so he can ensure to have that defense bonus up. The almighty MP cost up at all times. The damage boost up at all times, which I believe is his third panel. You give him life brands, just make him a stump and keep him alive and just have him pass his turns. Maybe throw out Necro Dogma to boost your defense if necessary. Or you can go spell brands, divine brands if you want them popping off with Light Devourer and helping to delete enemies. Whatever you're feeling on that particular day. As for the panels, and before we talk about the panels, we'll talk about the cost. The only way to panel this guy is through multi-fusion, and this guy costs about 10 mil if you want to build him from the ground up. Okay, so to get his panel 1, it's going to cost you 30 million mag. Okay, 10 to make the original, 2 dupes to give you 120 spirits, because common archetypes only give you 60 spirits each, which is a problem, and they really should, at least for the multi-fusion demons, make the common archetypes just give you 100 spirits for those special demons, because, goddamn, that is a price tag. Paneling my Cardicea costs me my firstborn child. I miss her dearly. Okay, panel 1 reduces the cost of almighty skills by 1 MP for all party members of the Tyrant race only, which is massive. Like I said before, 5 MP cost on Death Flyers, 5 MP cost on Morningstar, 5 MP cost on Necro Dogma. Oof, turn 1, combine all those 3 things, and you're in for a time. Panel number 2, minus 10% to damage received by all party members of the Tyrant race while this demon is alive. And if you recall, Hell's Ministry provides minus 10% damage as well, bringing it up to 20%. And add that on to Necro Dogma, which gives you Rakakaja another 20%. You have a 40% damage reduction to all your Tyrants. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So you are going to be some stubborn mofos if you got all this up and running. And finally, the big one, panel 3. And one you're really going to want to gun for if you're going for that speedster team. 10% to damage inflicted by all party members of the Tyrant race. Another 10% damage spike to Lucifer's already ridiculous potential for damage spikes. Things will go boom. Okay? Things will explode. And remember, if you run Lucifer with the divine brands, and there's no Undead Alice and no one double stances you or something like that, you can double tap Morningstar turn 1. Something to consider. Well, that about wraps it up for the Prime Minister of Hell, the Bureaucrat from below, Lucifuge. Have a good one, Liberators. Don't get captured.